Hello and welcome to Kingston Now. I'm Jimmy Buff. This week we'll talk rail trails with Gregg Swanzey of the Kingston Land Trust. We'll recap this past weekend's Kingston Classic, and we'll start with Michael Courtney of RUPCO and Joan Keating of the YMCA, who have an event together this weekend at the YMCA in Midtown Kingston. Welcome to Kingston Now, folks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So Michael, tell me about what is RUPCO?
RUPCO is a rural Ulster preservation company. We're an affordable housing nonprofit organization, and we help people stay in their homes, build new homes. We manage and build affordable housing. We help people repair homes when they can't afford to fix it. A lot of different things that we do. And then also the program I'm a part of is Green Jobs, Green New York, where we help people get access to free or low-cost home energy audits, and then also low-interest financing through NYSERDA to get the work done in their homes.
And Joan, the YMCA most people think of is a big gym in Midtown, but it's more than that, right?
It's more than that. We're a community center. We're really branching out. We are a nonprofit organization. We have a diverse group of people. We have everything from childcare to camps to swimming to exercise. The list goes on, and we're just looking to do more with our community.
So how does RUPCO, YMCA, and Friends of Historic Kingston get together for an event?
Well, we had previously done a community lunch event at the YMCA, and that went so well that when we were brainstorming this idea for Energize Kingston, where we wanted to bring people together, somewhere centrally located in Kingston to help people learn more about home energy savings and sustainable living, and the YMCA seemed like a great fit. So we met with them, and here we are.
The YMCA seems to be doing more of this stuff too. I know, for instance, you had a pet adoption. A rescue group brought their pets to the YMCA, and people could come for a few hours and check out the animals and maybe take one home. Is that by design these days?
It's not on purpose necessarily, but it is out of just having some conversations with our community and just really trying to let them know that we're their neighbor and we're here to help them. And if they need us, what can we do? And that came out with just a simple little email, and it grew, and now they're becoming a little bit more regular and going to try to do it every couple of months. I was also able to partner with, help them out for a while, was the Special Olympics basketball group. Their space was very small, and these were adult guys, and they had about 30 players, and they need a bigger space, so they used our gym this winter. So we've just been trying to hit everybody a little bit and see what we can do.
Michael, tell me about Energize Kingston. What's going to happen this weekend?
It's going to be a great event where one of the highlights is we're asking people to come in and take the Energy Pledge, where they can sign up to get a free or low-cost home energy audit through NYSERDA, and we'll have about a half a dozen contractors. They're nationally certified contractors, so people can meet with the contractors, meet with us, and really learn everything about the program from soup to nuts. And then the Y has a basic total open house, and you can talk more about all the activities you're going to have. We're also highlighting businesses in Midtown. It's going to be a great time. There's free childcare, so you can, if you've got children, they're going to have fun, and you can come and browse as an adult and learn about things on your own as well.
What's the wise part of Saturday?
The wise part of Saturdays, we are going to have some fitness classes going on so people can participate. They can also have a tour of the Y and see what's in the inside, because it's one of those true things. What you see on the outside isn't what's necessarily in there. We have also going on some kids events where the kids can be occupied so the parents can be freed up to go look at the energy information that's out there. We've invited Mid-City bowling alleys. They're going to set up some bowling pins for us and do a little bowling fun. We're looking to all the local restaurants to showcase their food and put that out as free food and help the businesses the businesses get a little bit more exposure. And there's a lot of cute little mom and pop shops out there that it's worth taking the time to go visit and see.
Tell me about the energy savings of Kingston. Is Kingston an energy efficient area? Is there a lot of work to do? Is it growing? Tell me about that, Michael.
Well, I think anywhere in the country, most places, our housing stock is probably, mid to early 20th century building stock. So a lot of homes were built even without insulation. A house that I used to own in Kingston had no insulation at all, which I found out once I did my energy audit.
You couldn't tell the first winter, right? You went, wow, it's a little chilly in here.
It was chilly, yeah.
Uh-huh.
I thought it was the windows, but there's always things people can find out. A lot of people say, oh, I don't want to know, but it's a great way. What's great about the energy audit is it takes the guesswork out of figuring out what's the most cost-effective thing to do to save money on your home. It's also great for finding out about safety in the home. Like I know somebody who, many people a lot of times find out that their furnace or something is actually leaking carbon monoxide or gases into the home. I know somebody needed to shut down their furnace recently because they found out there was carbon monoxide leaking. So, real dangerous things that you can find out about and correct, as well as learning to save money. What's great about it is there's low interest loans available. A lot of people work it out so that their monthly savings matches their loan payments. So it's a project that can pay for itself, and even then some. Usually you can save some money on top of that.
Well, it sounds like it's going to be a great event. It's Energize Kingston. It's this Saturday between 11 and 3 at the YMCA in Midtown Kingston. Thanks for coming, folks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
You're watching Kingston Now. Next, we're going to get an update on the status of new rail trails coming to Kingston from Gregg Swanzey of the Kingston Land Trust. Welcome back to Kingston Now. We first heard about ambitious plans to extend rail trails from Kingston to Rosendale and beyond about a year ago. Here to update us on the status of that is Gregg Swanzey of the Kingston Land Trust. Hi, Gregg.
Hi, Jimmy. Great to be here.
The plan to extend the rail trails, when we first met on this show a little over a year ago, was sort of not pie in the sky, but it was theory. Mm-hmm. But a lot's happened in that past year to bring this much closer to reality. Can you give us a little rundown on some of those things?
I can. It's amazing how much is coming together and how fast it's coming together. But they're really Kingston is a hub of the old historic railroad corridors, and on each one there's a lot of activity that's taking place right now. One being in Rosendale, they're restoring the trestle. It's near completion, if not complete now, to where it'll soon open. And with some negotiations with the Williams Lake development there, it'll come all the way to Kingston. And it really is. I'm out there all the time. It's coming to our doorstep.
Well, that trestle is just beautiful. I mean, it's a centerpiece of Rosendale, and that's sort of the northern end of the Wallkill Valley Rail Trail.
Absolutely.
So the rail trail will have to extend through Rosendale and into the South Wall Street area of Kingston. Is that where it will come in?
Yes, onto the boulevard. It'll be in that area of the boulevard. And actually, there's a great place for a trailhead. At minimum, we could look at an old stretch of Route 32 that's no longer used for a trailhead right there at the city line. But of course, what we'd like to do is bring it all the way into Kingston and find a way to do that. So some of the property's been sold off over time. So it may not be, once it gets into Kingston, it may not be on the old railroad bed. We'll see. We'd like to talk to people because it's such an asset. The property values go right up when a rail trail comes through it. They might be interested in it.
Is that a surprise to people to hear that property values go up when a rail trail goes through?
Well, it might be to some. I mean, there's so many rail trails in this country now that, it's really been proven that, rail trails make a place safer. The property values go up. It's an amenity that realtors and people that buy homes are looking for. And I've heard that the premium is something like $20,000. Is the premium for being within a quarter mile of a rail trail. So
wow.
People look for that when they move into a community like Kingston.
Sure.
So that's what we would expect to see that kind of increase for sure, especially considering of what it's like having an unused, untaken care of, unkept corridor
old
like
abandoned
that
rail
behind
bed,
your house.
Yeah, sure.
And at first, sometimes people are concerned. Maybe they want a fence up, and they're really concerned about who's going to go on this corridor. But no, I think most of the time, what they do is then they put a gate in their fence if they do put one up at all, and realize that this is they want to be able to go out their back door, get onto the rail trail, and take advantage of it.
The big news, of course, within the past year is that the plan to put a rail trail from the city of Kingston out to Boyceville and beyond on that old rail line that goes from the city out to the Mount Tremper, Phoenicia area. Mm-hmm. And that seems to have picked up a lot of momentum in a very short amount of time, including the governor, including $2 $2 million for it in the current budget. What is that money going to be used for?
Well, it's Environmental Protection Fund money. So it's a real estate transfer tax is where the money comes from, and it funds a variety of things that are so important to us in the Environmental Protection Fund. But this is one of them, $2 million. It certainly will set the stage for some of the work that has to be done to implement a project like this. Involves public process. It involves conceptual design, engineering, and things like that, and then then the implementation itself. So I think we'll get a long way with $2 million. But I can tell you this too, that investment will spur all kinds of private investment and other kinds of building. We'll be able to build capacity to get this done. So that's such that initial burst of funding for a project like this is so critical, and there it is.
And there seems to be overwhelming support both from government and from the public for a rail trail there, though there are some people, and the Catskill Mountain Railroad organization are less than thrilled with the idea because they had other plans for that rail line. They wanted to run a train, basically an old-time train from Kingston out to Phoenicia and back again as part of a tourist train. And they've proposed a plan, a rails with trails plan. Which, is that feasible? I mean, is that done in other places?
Mm-hmm. Well, it is done in some places where it's practical and feasible. In this case, certainly within the city of Kingston, just to get from where on Cornell Street, where they have a yard of sorts, a rail yard, for where they keep a lot of the stuff, they come out and they load people at Kingston Plaza. But to get out there are three underpasses, well, 4 actually, that they've got to get through before they get out there. They're too narrow to accommodate both. So, their plan, although we love, sharing is a great idea, and we'd all like to see that. If we can, in those cases, what they would do is send a trail for, people of all ages and all abilities that, might utilize it in the city of Kingston. Would they send it up long ramps and across busy streets like Albany Ave, where if the trail was down on the underpasses on the corridor, it would, be much safer for people to use. And in effect, if we tried to do that in the city of Kingston, it would be like having no trail, and the rails would still be there, so it wouldn't be practical there.
What's the next step for the rail trail for the Kingston Land Trust? I know you guys have regular meetings about this. What's the next step that you guys are going to take to make rail trails a reality?
Well, one thing that we need to do these days is create strong partnerships with a variety of organizations. A good example here, of course, right off the bat, is that the governor is willing to commit funding for this and other projects, by the way, other rail trail projects in the state and that affect us, the Wallkill Valley Rail Trail, for example. So there's a public partnership. The city of Kingston, Mayor Shane Gallo, is just really a champion for this. Common Council is a champion for this, and so there's the public sector, which is foursquare behind it. But now we have then we have nonprofits that come into play, and Kingston Land Trust is, we're focused hard in Kingston, but our partner is the Woodstock Land Conservancy. It's the Wallkill Valley Land Trust. It's Open Space Institute. It's it's a lot of these other organizations, other nonprofits in the region, where collectively we look at this as a vision for the region, for the county, and that's how it'll happen.
Terrific. Well, we're looking forward to the next update when you stop back next time.
Yeah.
Thanks, Greg.
Great.
This is Kingston Now, and next we're going to recap this past weekend's Kingston Classic running race. Stay tuned. You're watching Kingston Now, and this past weekend, hundreds of runners came to Kingston to run the Kingston Classic, the 10K, which is a 6.2-mile route, and the 2-mile run. Here's a recap of that event. Over 1,000 runners competed in the 31st Kiwanis Kingston Classic 10K and 2.1-mile runs this past Sunday, and we caught up with race director Greg Riley just after the race ended. So Greg, tell me about the numbers. How many runners this year?
1,045.
And do you know the breakdown between the 2-mile and the 10K?
I have some rough estimates. I think it's like 700 in the 10K and 345 in the 2-mile.
What a difference a year makes. The weather a little more running friendly this year than last year. It was kind of hot last year, right?
Absolutely, yeah. You couldn't ask for a better day. A little bit of wind would cause some probably some issues as far as the lead runners, but overall, I think a great day.
Former race director and Kingston Classic Hall of Famer Dick Vincent was on hand too. So Dick, tell me about the way the race is now and when you were race director. What are the differences?
The difference is I slept last night, and the night before that, and the night before that. As a matter of fact, I slept the whole week this week.
What goes into putting on an event like this?
It's hard to explain because there's so many things you have to do. I mean, everything that happens today, from the moment you pick up your pins to the cup of water you get at the finish line, that's got to be orchestrated, figured out ahead of time. Somebody's got to get the job assigned to them. Somebody has to be called up to get that job. You know, it just goes on and on and on. There's no end to how much work goes into this thing.
The men's winner was Harbert Akuti, and for the women, it was Kieran Toth of Rhinebeck. We're with Kieran Toth, the women's winner of the Kingston Classic. Kieran, tell me about your race today.
It went better than expected. I've been really busy with work, and just training's been a little spotty, but the weather was great, and my race was really consistent. I negative split by about 20 seconds, so that was a great thing for me, and just had a good time out there.
So for people who don't know what that means, in running it means you ran the second half a little bit faster than the first half. Why is that important?
Well, it's important because a lot of times you go out too fast and then you die the last half. You end up running a slower time than you would have, and if you can stay steady and even get faster the second half, that's usually a sign that you ran the race to your ability on that day. So,
in the Kingston Classic, when you hit the home stretch, you come into the track at Dietz Stadium and there's a big crowd cheering you on. Does that help you in the home stretch?
Oh yes. You always run faster when you've got a crowd cheering, and I saw my boss, Dr. Josefsky, probably about a dozen times, I'd say, on the course, and that helped as well, having people I know cheering for me.
Alderman Matt Dunn ran with a contingent of city officials. As a member of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, you've got to love an event like this.
This is a spectacular event for the City of Kingston. It brings a bunch of people to our community from out of town and even people who participate within the city. This is a great event.
Now, you are the alderman for Ward 1, which is the area that this race takes place in. Are you involved in any of the logistics?
I'm not involved in any logistics, but my job was to go out and recruit other people from the City of Kingston to participate. We had a bunch of other aldermen that participated for the second year in a row. We even had the chief of police who participated for the first time.
I even saw United States Congressman Chris Gibson out here.
That's right, and we love more and more people, and especially public officials, to come out and show their support for public health and public exercise.
You ran today. How did it feel?
This felt spectacular to come out and run. I loved every minute of it, even though I was sucking wind at the end.
Top runner Mike Halstead finished 5th overall despite a recent MS diagnosis. We're with Dr. Mike Halstead, one of the top local finishers here at the Kingston Classic year after year after year, and again this week you were 5th overall. How'd the run feel?
The run felt good. Hadn't raced in a long time, so I was unsure of how it would go, but felt real good for most of it, and finished with a good time. I'm happy.
Now, you were recently diagnosed with MS, and how has that diagnosis influenced how you're training and you're running?
Thank God, my symptoms are very mild. I don't think it's held me back. I'm on a good drug that seems to be controlling it pretty well. And actually, I think it's probably helped a little bit because it has forced me to watch my diet. And I'm on a diet that is designed to help with the MS symptoms, but I think it's helping overall. And I'm for the first time in my life, I'm really watching what I eat. So I think that's helping.
And you've got an event planned for September. You want to tell people about that?
Yes, we have a bike ride to benefit the National Multiple Sclerosis Society, and it's September 21st in Schodack, New York, which is a little north of here, but it's a beautiful bike ride. You can choose to ride 10, 30, 62, or 100 miles, and you can go to bikemsupstatenewyork.org and sign up. It's a really nice thing. We hope to raise a bunch of money to help with MS.
Ageless wonder Steve Schallenkamp directed the Kids Classic on Saturday and then ran on Sunday. Steve, you are an ageless wonder. How did it feel to run today?
Not bad. The temperature was pretty, it was windy, but it didn't really get hot like last year. So it's pretty comfortable out there.
Steve, what do you attribute your success and longevity to?
Well, I think some of the success is just from doing it for so long. You just, if you do something long enough, you get sort of good at it. And the longevity is basically luck.
Now, you say luck in what sense? Why would luck have anything to do with it?
Well, it's avoiding injuries. Lots of things can happen to people in life that they have absolutely no control over. And, I haven't really gotten sick. I haven't really gotten hurt. So that's kind of lucky.
And that'll keep you running for a long time.
Yes, and plus, it's always been play. It was play when I started with running, and it's still play. So I like to play.
Congratulations on a good run.
Thank you.
And Joe Fay of the Kiwanis Club was happy too. We're with Joe Fay from the Kingston Kiwanis Club. Joe, how'd the race go for you guys today?
Outrageous. We were over our 1,000 people goal. We were 1,057. No injuries. Everybody's happy so far. The band just got done playing. The food's still going. Everything went well.
You had, I was talking to Greg Bennett a little earlier, you had a little bit of a drama this week with a water main break right at the entrance to the stadium. Did that cause you some sleepless nights?
If anything could go wrong, in the last week it's gone wrong. With that water main break, I panicked. We were actually thinking of rerouting the course, but the guys told me they were going to have it done, and they did. They worked till 1 o'clock in the morning to get it done, so thank God.
Congratulations on another great event.
It was really good. Thank everybody, all our sponsors, everybody. It was really great. Thank you.
That's it for this week's show. Thanks to Michael Courtney of RUPCO and Joan Keating of the YMCA. Thanks to Gregg Swanzey of the Kingston Land Trust. And thanks to everyone who ran the Kingston Classic. Remember, all of our previous shows are available on our YouTube channel, and you can find that link on our Facebook page. For KingstonNow, I'm Jimmy Buff. I'll see you next time.